of history.
It's a little slice of Misukun on the menu today for Isle of RNG, and vice versa, guys. We're going to game number 1 of the matchup.
Double Darkest, look at those! This is the highest ranked matchup we've seen so far today, Mikefield.
Indeed.
Oh my lord.
Crazy stuff, guys. What a lineup on both those sides. We have heavy stress from Isle of RNG, heavy stress from Misukun, and that's a lot of DOT as well that accompanies Isle of RNG squad. Actually, Misukun as well is running the variation of the Mangle comp, so we have a lot of DOTs on this side of the pitch as well. So I'm very curious how this one goes. They're all in, aren't they? They're like both all in.
These are such remarkable teams right now. They're two teams that obviously I don't think any of us can put a name to. This isn't a Halo comp or a Goliath comp or anything like that. These run out to homebrewed comps, really trying to utilize their own knowledge in the game to take it home. Right now, seeing Pro Guardian here, which I believe is guard dog in Espanol. So that guard dog obviously going to increase his dodge by a little bit, push him out of that Reign of Sorrows range. Obviously, 85% base. Oh, è visto, absolutely, ora perdido. Mikefield, what do you think of this game?
Yeah, this El Flagellante as well, getting the crit before. This is going to be a very long-lasting bleed, guys. By the way, chat, please keep it English. Keep it English, we can. This being said,
español. En inglés only. En el baño.
Sis, chill. Oh, what a crazy opening here. I have not seen this game in Spanish. But we can kind of read through that stuff, can't we, sis? Can't we?
We want to see a stun here from the Houndmaster, I think, don't we? Maybe on Antiquarian. Oh, on the Houndmaster, biting the riposte and hitting into the 80. Advertimento resist, brother.
Indeed.
Have you ever seen the high Advertimento resist?
Yeah, honestly, I feel like even though this resistance comes through, Misukun has done way more in the first turn than Isle of RNG. Like, he has accomplished a lot of DOTs on the backline, he has been able to drop this regen as well. Feels like he has an upper hand coming into 10 number 2 right now. He has a little bit of momentum.
Very early on, whilst his team right now has got no damage on board, he's playing ahead of that Festering Vapors from that rank 1 Antiquarian. And also, here we go, and a Vanishing Powder, I think, reducing the accuracy, no?
It's strange. I mean, this Flagellant doesn't have that much accuracy overall, right? Those are 2 high dodge characters on the back. It pays back instantly. This pays off. This evasion on both the on both the Grave Robber and the Houndmaster is huge. There's a wasted turn for the Flagellant, there's a big trade-off as well. This Flagellant cannot remove this debuff, so this is going to stay like this for quite a while, you have to feel.
That's an odd beast bio there, a rank 3 Abomination, very, very risky. He could get knocked back there a little bit, be pushed into 4th, and able to do anything other than heal, and that bolster on turn 2, a little bit late. Why do you think he's doing it, especially against such a heavy DOT team?
Maybe he realized this game is gonna take a while, and he just wants to invest into this as much as possible, because like I feel like this is going to be a lengthy matchup overall. This might take like 10-12 turns to resolve at least, and he wants to just have this bolster anyway. So maybe a bit late, but still, maybe he had a hidden agenda on turn 1 perhaps, so like something better to do.
You see Isle of RNG here, stacking on that Bull Guardian here. Oh, and a triple evade on there. 3 dodges. Unbelievable here. 52 on the Houndmaster. He's just guard dog 2 turns in a row, only 52 dodge. But still, everyone is paying off, man.
Yeah.
Unbelievable from Isle of RNG. This ridiculous dodge.
Yeah, it was like, you really wish you had a Jester if you are Misukun right now, because really he wants to have that accuracy. All those characters incredibly high in terms of dodge. So this is also a suicide attempt by the Houndmaster actually. This is indeed resisted, so this Death's Door debuff goes away. And right now this doggo is sort of safe.
Look at that stress stacked up on the Houndmaster, Mike. Yeah. Look at that.
Those darts did the job there. Like, I think those are like double darts that did that, right? We have a dodge coming down, however, right now, so this might indeed be fine.
En español, da cualquiera de follows in the Houndmaster. A fantastic dodge there from the Houndmaster. Absolutely fantastic there.
It's Master Canino, I think, in Spanish, right? Crazy. Oh, okay, so let's see how this goes. So we have this antiquarian. Sorry for cutting in, I didn't intend to. I feel like you're making a pause, actually.
Mikefield, you are the king.
Okay, this is...
Oh, fallo vision.
Yeah, I Love RNG is actually taking a lot of those repos to the face. I don't know if he intends to be doing so, because this might in the end bite him in the ass. Because this is a lot of DOTs already on his composition. He's not too healthy at all. Look at this, 11 DOT on this MAA. This Handmaster under heavy pressure as well. This Grave Robber too. So if you let Misukun
look at this
game,
Houndmaster completely throwing down these guard dogs.
Yeah.
Plus 50 evasion there, 50 dodge. At
Yeah.
92 dodge there, pretty naughty with the monkey's paw for the plus 15. But if you are Misukun, you need to appreciate, maybe you stop doing those AoE attacks. You understand, listen, my Houndmaster might be dead, I've got a Flagellant, an Abomination, and an Antiquarian left. I can still win. These guys are DOT'd up to their noggin. We take a little bit slow, but right now Misukun is playing this heavy game still. He's biting those riposts, eating them, taking them to the chin. I don't think that's necessary, Mike.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't feel this is necessary at all. And he could have potentially just dropped another healing here, like, you know, rejuvenating vapors on those characters across the board. There's a lot of healing that you just kind of at least balance out the dots coming out. And Misukun has such a huge damage advantage right now, I feel like, overall. Like, those dots will pay dividends within a 10 or 2. And there is no way for I Love RNG to remove them other than those... then this toxin, what is it? Toxin
trickery, but I don't think anyone really takes that. Very weak skill. Doesn't even give you any healing. Kind of a wasted turn it. I think I Love RNG is kind of being punished by this Flagellant. We're seeing it go into turn 4, turn 5. We're seeing constant Beast Bile here. Even biting up that riposte from Mana Dancer. Not even bothering to transform. Some would say a very uninteresting, very kind of weird turn.
Indeed.
But some would also say, play it slow, play it control, we win it. If that's a Flash Powder again, interesting. Resist the debuff, maybe takes, I believe, 15 accuracy, maybe a little bit more. Again, against that Festering Vapors, base 85 might do a lot.
Indeed. You might say the only thing that Toxin Trickery has going for itself is the alliteration in its name, right? Seriously.
Absolutely.
And
a little bit of dodge against you. It does give you a slight amount of dodge.
That's true. Actually, he really wants the dodge, so maybe that's the purpose of this skill here on this composition.
It would be late to do it now, right? It's a kind of bolster once per game effect, I believe. Very late to do now. We've seen a Costa di Perro coming out, and they see on in return here. He's really stacking up these Houndmaster hits, even though the stress doesn't really show it.
Agreed. Oh, so Misukun actually plays this safe right now. He slows down the game pace. He knows that, you know, for his opponent, for I Love RNG, to start healing and regenerating, he would have to move this Antiquarian first. So it's at least 2 turns before I Love RNG can start healing. The question is that gonna be enough or not?
Oh, Desperado, I believe that is...
Afflicted indeed.
Yeah, something to do with I don't give a heck. So that has an ability to pass.
Oh,
so
the name, yeah.
For these passes here, yeah.
But those health bars so low for both the players, and this Flagellant actually, I think I Love RNG has been very diligent this game and has been able to keep this Flagellant away from 50%.
Punish there on the Mana Arms rather than the back to Reign of Sorrows. What's going on there? Eating the riposte.
He wants to do this. He has to do this because he really needs to heal with this Flagellant. And the sooner he drops to low HP, the better for him, actually. I feel like this was something that Misukun was hoping for.
Wow, he resists. Thank God he resisted the debuff. Thank God there.
He wanted to take this huge repose to the face. He was hoping this was gonna be a big number. It was. Not sure if this bleed is gonna be enough, however, to take him to 0 HP, you know, to 40%, so that he can start healing.
Man, we're gonna see this Abomination the entire time, not even transforming, like sitting there and healing. I think right now, come on, brother, you need to play aggressive. You want to throw a Manacles down the Antiquarian or something. Look at this gameplay. This is anyone's board right now. If you like this.
I feel like this might be smart, actually, because he's just waiting.
Death blow! Death blow on the Houndmaster. Absolutely ridiculous here. So, I Love RNG taking it from Misukun right under his nose.
Yeah, he could have activated this Houndmaster. I don't know why he didn't do this before. Right, he had an activation ready on this Houndmaster still. This might be a kill, by the way. This might be a kill on... Oh, okay, this is
double evasion.
Oh, those dodges
evasion
are so
on
big.
both of the Death's Door characters, Mike.
Yeah. Basically, everybody is at Death's Door right now. The question is, like, I feel like Misukun can still pull this through. Or pull... Yeah, like, the problem is this Flagellant needs to drop to 0 HP for that to work. And these regions have been really working against him in this case. So he does want this Flagellant to be below 50%, just that the question is like whether it's gonna be possible or not. There's another double evasion!
Double evasion.
Oh, you hate to see it when you're missing.
I believe 52 on the initial Carino there, the Houndmaster. Possibly around the same, maybe about 30 on the Grave Robber. Really unfortunate there. His Abomination taking every single hit. Regardless of the rejuvenation he's got, he's going to be put down on Death's Door whenever he accepts that character.
Triple kill on the cards.
With this finisher, we need it with this finisher. Come on here.
3 going down.
Roll the dice.
No way. Oh, those debuffs from Bellow I feel might be coming into play as well in here. That's like minus 20% and some protection, but that's so unfortunate. I thought this was going to be at least a single kill. This is the second time in a row this happens. It's kind of unfortunate for Misukun. I have to feel bad about that.
How many times have we seen the double evasion on the front and the back as well, man?
I don't know.
That is coming to be unlucky for Misukun, right?
So does Misukun go aggressive now, or does he risk? Does he actually keep going?
There we go.
That's
We've seen stun it. Very
smart. He has to stun this. And
trying to take control.
This Flagellant now, he is going to start the next turn. He can heal someone. Because this Antiquarian is not going to accomplish much. There's going to be a Bellow coming down, and right now this Flagellant can actually heal his ally. I feel this is going to be the Antiquarian getting healed, because that's just a priority for Misukun, because this is the core healer right now, and core finisher as well. So there's, by the way, no repose on the MAA right now. Okay, never mind, there is a repose actually on the MAA here. So I feel like Misukun might go either for a risky finisher here with just activating this Antiquarian from the get-go and risking her dying, but potentially, you know, getting the big jackpot here, 3 kills on the cards. Does he get this? He decides to go all in on this one.
Man. He's gonna roll the dice.
That's a single level
and
on
Morte. Oh, absolutely Morte. That is a death blow on the Man-at-Arms there.
That's absolutely absurd. That's a huge bummer for Misukun. He could have taken 3 kills if he takes 1.
Oh, and
those guys are alive. Oh, I feel like Misukun's got this now. He heals with the Flagellant, he targets the Antiquarian, I have to feel, and this might mean that he keeps his boys alive long enough.
But I didn't know on the Antiquarian, but we say this, Mikefield. That Grave Robber and the Antiquarian aren't being his. I think we need to appreciate these guys aren't being hit. Game theory, I'm going to go with the gambler's fallacy. I'm going to put my cards down while I'm winning. These guys are not going to get hit. You play aggressively. You keep pushing down. Boom, ding, Death's Door. He's down.
That might be a stun though.
Exactly. Well, it might be. But again, it might not hit. 52 evasion, right? 52.
Yeah, that's so sad. Oh, I was like, that's gonna be such. This is gonna be the moment that decides this game. If he gets this stun, he probably takes this game home, because there's gonna be a stun master.
That finisher giving him max trajectory as well. Look at that finisher there.
Does he go for it? I go for the Houndmaster. Misukun, go for the Houndmaster. Oh, I hate to see 70% chance.
Oh,
he gets it. It's a stun.
Oh.
It's game. I think this is game. This Antiquarian is going to shred out of RNG right now. It's going to be absolute distraction coming through across the board.
This has been another one of these incredible games. Coming into turn 8 here, I think Misukun, if he's lucky, bing, bing, but
no way!
Oh, Mike, what was that? He just killed himself. And a Golfing Morte self-attack. This was the worst thing that could possibly happen. A 1 in 10, a 1 in 10, Mike.
Worst timing ever, guys. Worst timing ever. Oh no. And now this is going to be the time for the Abomination to shine, you have to feel. But how much can he do? Can he kill this Antiquarian? He might just get...
Oh, and again, go to the Mortal again on that Antiquarian with a stun. Oh, Mike, come on. Every single game in this season has been ridiculous. What on earth is going on? Red Hogs themselves are blessing this game with RNG. We're going to see Daniel Vessi on there on that.
Oh no. That's the start for Isle of RNG. Isle of RNG
this
goes
is anyone's game. It's anyone's game, Mike.
It is. Because this Flagellant is just going to stay alive indefinitely right now. Wait, does he have no oh, he has full HP, so he's not gonna be able to exsanguinate this. Oh, this is a dead abomination, though. This is a dead A-bomb. Oh, God.
Oh, man. But both of Isle of RNG's characters here in the back row. Perfect rain of sorrows. A critical and an ovation there.
So low accuracy, though. That's gonna be such a close one right now. Because this Flagellant isn't really hitting the mark at all. Those two very high dodge characters. Does Isle of RNG go all in right now on this? Or does he try to heal again?
He's playing the... We've seen him look defensively quite a lot. But that is a 3 per game, right? He can't use it again next 7 minutes. He's going to put him down again.
Oh no, he acts out though. There's no longer Rain of Sorrows available.
Now he can't get a double kill active there. This is so grim.
Yeah, indeed. Does he act out again though? Does he have Master? Oh, he marks him. That's so fortunate.
He marks himself. Doesn't really do anything effectively. And he's guard dogging for the extra dodge. I would say that is a misplay, playing too defensively there, perhaps.
Why are those guys like these? Like, why are they like this one? Like, every single game has been like this. Can I just sit down and not be on the edge of my seat for a single match, please?
Mike,
what is going on?
Come on, exsanguinate, come on.
No,
take him down.
Does he go for this?
I punish, you know.
No,
oh, man, what are you doing? Mike, come on, someone needs to tranquilize me. This is absolutely ridiculous, man. These games are just not stopping. Non-stop back and forth, insane gameplay. Oh man, that stress piling up. He's going to be knocked down to death store soon. I think Isle of RNG's got this. Pushing himself to first there, can't heal himself, even though it wasn't another guard dog. Man. Turn 12.
Oh, but he's gonna be resolve broken so soon though. There's no more X-Sang available as well for him, so that's just all he has. All those abilities that you can see, just the punish available right now. That's such a big deal for Isle of RNG. He might just take this home right now. There's so much stress on his composition. It's gonna be stress.
We've seen this Flagellante here. His healing abilities earlier. That means really right now when he needs it the most, he just can't use it.
No. There's gonna be a stun potentially. He does guards this. Per Guardian coming through. I can't speak Spanish.
107 of Eson. Mas polvas, mas cenizas, mas recepción, right? Absolutely, 107 of Eson.
So unlucky to hit that now. What, 13% to hit? Are you kidding me? 13% to hit that X.
Rather than a guy that got PR 13%. Absolutely absurd. He's not. Is he gonna? He's playing it for the fans. You see it. Oh, he's having some fun with this Misukun. He is loving it, Mike. He knows what's going on. He's going to push it into game 2.
Oh.
There we go. Our guy Misukun, I think a little bit stolen out of that game though, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely ridiculous.
This RNG, like those death blows not coming through. Like this Grave Robber was at 0 HP, has been for 0 HP for the last, what, 10 turns or so. She didn't die. She didn't die there in this match. She hasn't died at all in this matchup. And this is Misukun taking a hard loss in game number 1, guys. Let's go into picks and bans again. Let's see what we have right now on our hands. So Isle of RNG is going to be unable to use one of those compositions right now. Let me just have a look at what we have on our hands. So I feel like Stress 1 was the comp that Isle of RNG used here, right? This was the Arbalest. Sorry, this was the Grave Robber, Antiquarian, Houndmaster, MAA. Wasn't it?
Absolutely, but I think the most interesting thing here is that Misukun, that team he used, that's almost a power comp here. I think he could definitely take a win here.
Yeah.
This might not be so punishing as a 1-0, you know.
No.
It might have been, you know, he gets a bad loss to the power comp, maybe got unlucky, but right now, he can do whatever he wants. He can use any team he wants that's left unbanned. Really try to counterpick the 2 remaining teams he has left, try and get a coin flip, really snipe out that team he's using. And Esprende al Rival, we're waiting for RNG right now. This is going to be a ridiculous game too. I mean, Mike, quite frankly, I want a little bit of a break, man. I want this to be a boring game because really, boy oh boy, this has been blowing my socks off. And I'm sure the viewers right now are fucking tired of spamming. Oh my lord, holy heck. Boy oh boy.
Yeah, so let's just wait for Isle of RNG to make his pick right now, and we shall see what exactly becomes of this game.
We are
Oh, we're going to the game right now. We're loading into the game.
Again, we see another Clash of Titans. Look at these two. Darkest 2 or Darkest 1 in their own right. Really remarkable. This close from Season 2 as well.
I agree. Wow, this is a Leopard comp.
Wow.
That's the Goliath comp coming from I Love RNG.
Look at that.
That's pure Goliath, isn't it?
No, Goliath has a Crusader instead of the
Oh,
Bounty
true. Yeah,
Hunter.
as we talked about
This
this,
is
yeah.
a Goliath Mark Jester variant. This is so devastating, especially against an Abomination. You purge him, bam. You're in such an incredible position to pull in the Antiquarian, really destroy the. Here we go. Padaga. Hey, will it hit? 20. Boom. Mike. I think I Love RNG is taking it from the first turn. This is what I effing love to see.
Yeah, but you can still pull through, right? You can just use the fade away with the Antiquarian just to go back to this. I mean, take cover, right? So that she goes back to 4th. I think she can use this from fair draw, can't she? So this is still recoverable.
You don't do that though, do you? You really don't, I think. That's a wasted turn, really.
But
that
like,
you're essentially wasting a turn on your Antiquarian.
Yeah, but do you want to lose? Do you want to lose your Abomination turn, like the Transform turn, and the? I feel like you just can't push the Leper out. Oh, you can't actually, you can't because he has the Snuff.
Well, Mike,
right.
Whatever happens, there's a Bounty Hunter there. You move him forward one, you get pulled right back in, don't you?
No, but
even if you use a Stealth, you can use Illuminating Flare and then pull him right back in, Mike.
No.
There's an Arbalest hit from I Love RNG.
Oh,
I would do that. I would do that right now, wouldn't you?
But that's kind of the trade-off then.
Turns.
It's kind of the trade-off. Like, you use the Flare so early into the game, especially that this MAA still has the Bellow on the cards, there's just going to be such a huge detriment for you.
He goes
for the damage.
He goes for a sniper shot, man.
Yeah. We get a Transform.
Yeah, he's going to push forward here, though, isn't he?
Yeah,
Makes
he's just
him quite more resistant to that pulling from the Bounty Hunter.
Yeah, the problem is you really don't want to have Jester in rank 2 right now. So whatever you do, please, I beg you, Misukun, hit this Lep over the Slam. He does. He realizes this, I think.
90% move resist. He's got the Snuff. It's not going to land, though, is it? Really?
He really wanted to do this, but he doesn't want Jester to finish him. So that's why he did this. He really didn't want to move anybody. He just wanted to get into the safe spot with the road to at this point is, because there's nothing that you can do to his A-bomb.
You something rake. You something a little bit more aggressive. Maybe even target down that Bounty Hunter or the Jester even with some single target damage.
Don't you guard this A-bomb now? Don't you guard this A-bomb now? Why don't you guard this A-bomb?
He might be thinking right now, next turn I'm transforming, I'm going to Solemnity. Listen, he needs to transform next turn, right, to get that stress off. Yeah. He did do it. I think he's listening to you.
This is the necessary move. This is the necessary move. Like, he had so many options, but this is the only one that keeps him in the game. Like, if you are able to save this, at least, like, you know, prevent that damage from coming through at least for a while, this is such a big deal for you. So he just activates now, he goes back to human form, he heals a little bit so that the Derek sub doesn't finish him off, he's gonna be fine. Like, he drops a regen potentially as well. He probably would have wanted to drop the regen sooner, but he was not able to.
I wanted to see that absolution here coming into play, that perfect rotation back into human form, using those human form abilities. Fantastic. Look, check that there. A harvest coming in, putting on a bleed on both the Man-at-Arms and Houndmaster. Might not do enough in turn 2. Come into turn 5 if you get enough stacked on. It might do it though, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing a lot of stress, but I don't think this is... I mean, for Misukun, this composition is fairly squishy, right? If you play into what I Love RNG has with this super tanky comp, like a front line of an MAA and a Crusader, perhaps, you're mostly safe, but right now you definitely aren't safe.
I mean, Mike, just for a second, we see I Love RNG using his second sniper shot on an unmarked target here. The Bounty Hunter not choosing to use his come hither and shooting a marked target. Really interesting, I think. If we saw on turn 1 an illuminating flare, pull in sniper shot, we'd see a dead Antiquarian already. I think I Love RNG here, not quite comfortable with this team, not quite sure what to do in terms of thinking for the turn after, thinking, I don't know, 3 or 4 character turns in the future here, you know?
Yeah, and this is such an important match for Misukun specifically, because if he loses this one, he's just out of the tournament. In the very, very qualifiers, it's very unfortunate indeed that he's not taking his time. But
I mean, everyone in chat, give Misukun your support. He has so many fans in him, Mike, doesn't he? How much Spanish have you seen?
Yeah, we have he has us first and foremost, right? So we are sitting here probably rooting for both of the guys, obviously, because I Love RNG is our boy. But seriously, I'm also rooting for Misukun. He has been such an awesome, amazing host for me. And yeah, it's just such a big shame that, you know, he might just drop out in the qualifiers. Obviously, I Love RNG is such an active, powerful player as well, destroying the ladder himself. So, you know, it's a kind of hard pick for me here. If I had to choose, you know, one player whom I would prefer to win this one.
I think, to be honest, from that tournament, we saw Misukun's cast, who didn't get to see him play, so we weren't quite sure of how good he was. But quite frankly, we've seen some really veteran play from him here. Really quite careful. I Love RNG here with such a powerful comp with that purge, that Jester there. And again, we've slept on that Jester, but guess what? Look at Misukun's team. 3 counters at reasonably low. 2 at Death Storm, 1 at Half Health for that man at Ramsey.
If he loses one.
Exactly.
And that's like a very hard choice because he might lose both, in fact. Oh, I feel like this is a mistake for Misukun because he would have just guarded the Abomination, lost the Houndmaster, and then just pushed the Jester away. Probably this was the only saving grace for him right now because he might just get finale'd as well next turn. It's just looking super grim. Because, you know, right now, I Love RNG goes into his turn and then Misukun goes with the Abomination and then I Love RNG goes again. So he's gonna get 2 consecutive kills right now. There is no way to salvage this.
Getting fully afflicted here for I Love RNG's team there. Whilst Misukun does look like he's a little bit unfavoured in terms of having 2 characters at Death Store.
That's
I Love
count
RNG
drops.
is absolute. He does. I'm not sure if I'm at that. Oh!
Yeah.
That is a...
Oh, that's a mistake. That's a big mistake from I Love RNG because right now Misukun can activate his Houndmaster again. Or just guard him, right? This was potentially, if he had let this Abomination play, he could have taken both kills. Right now he's gonna only be able to secure 1 for sure, and the other one is going to be this Darkstar probably.
Look at that horror on him, look at that stress coming forward. Misukun right now is selling it. He needs some acts out, Mike. He needs those Abrodos, I believe that's Caltrops.
Yes, and it's a nope. It's a big nope from Misukun. Can you imagine, by the way, this Antiquarian perhaps... No! Okay, he heals. That's actually reasonable because there's just Darkstar
fine.
there.
Exactly, Mike. The Antiquarian is fine. We're going to see another Antiquarian clutch here. Look at that. Mike.
I wish he had used the regeneration before. Like, as Misukun, he could have dropped the regen way sooner than he hasn't dropped this yet, and he could have done this. And this would have probably kept his characters way more healthy.
That's selfish. That is a very high pass percent rather.
Yeah. Okay, this is... Oh, there's no more healing for either of those characters. This has to be all-in from Misukun right now. The all-in that may or may not salvage this game for him. That's going to be the finale, though.
Fully afflicted teammate. That finale is obviously going to try to go on the Man-at-Arms here.
Yeah, it's going to be Arbalest into finale, I think, right?
That Man-at-Arms here, he does have protection bonus from the guard. Maybe he passes here. Let's see that. Oh, no,
just stress.
It's blacked out, yeah.
That's just fine.
Exactly.
That's not
this
bad.
This is that protection, right?
The Jester.
So much protection. This finale might not do it. This finale might not do it, Mike.
It's 10-4. It's 10-4. This might just do it. I feel like this is going to be enough. Oh, he doesn't go for this.
Exactly.
Oh, 6. Just Mike, 6 damage. Oh, no.
Mike, here we go.
Oh, are we going to game 3? This might be game 3.
Man. I Love RNG here, a little bit tilted. He's playing for the crowd.
Oh, it can't go any.
Oh man, and the Jester is dead! Oh my! Oh man, this has been a ridiculous turn of events. The entire game, all of it, and it passed!
Oh, Misukun got this. Man, we're going to game 3, I think. This is gonna be another kill, probably. No, but a lot of stress nonetheless. Characters on devs do take additional stress, by the way, so there's gonna be 19 across the board here. This Arbalest not long for this world, you have to feel. She takes so much blight damage, so much bleed damage, stress as well because of all that. There is Harass stack, you know, going off eventually, but still so much going in favor of Misukun right now. You just have to feel he has clutched this. He might lose the MAA right now, but does it really matter? Because there's gonna be Hounds carry into 3 people dead.
One blow here is an entire team kill, but that finishing blow, Golf Immortal here, absolutely that finishing blow.
I feel like Houndmaster just drops the Hounds carry and that's dead. Everybody dies.
All the festering vapors.
Double kill from the Antiquarian. This is all she rolled for RNG.
I think that's gonna write down the obelisk team. Look at that.
Yeah.
There we go.
GG to Misukun taking game number 2 in perhaps not the most decisive fashion of them all, but in style for sure.
Mikefield, Silentia, are you here? Could you do me a favor? I need to go away just for one game. So if maybe Silentia could take over for this one, and I'll come back to the next match. Is that okay?
Yeah, I can solo cast. So if Silentia just drops in, that's also fine by me.
That's perfect. Okay, love. Thank you. I'm really sorry for this, but it's only really bad.
You're doing me a huge favor anyway, so that's not a big deal at all.
I'll be back as soon as I need to be. Love you guys. Everyone watching, remember, Mikefield's the guy. Everyone him. Misukun is streaming in his own right. Please support these guys. Massive things happening. Love you all. I'll be back soon.
So guys, let's have a look at the bans right now. We are going to lose the Has Cam composition right now, I think. Right, so this MAA heavy DOT composition is no longer on the cards for Misukun. So I Love RNG knows exactly what he's going to be up against, because I don't really think Misukun is serious with the family composition. So it might be just this repeat of the Flagellant, Houndmaster, Abomination and the Antiquarian that we have seen probably coming previously. Whereas, you know, as far as I Love RNG goes, we might just see the repeat of the previous situation as well, because there's nothing stopping I Love RNG from taking the Leper comp again. Obviously, there's another stress comp on the cards as well for I Love RNG, so this might be what he decides to do. Not sure though, we shall see indeed in game number 3. And I believe those are the sounds of game almost being initiated as well, so we just have to so we just have to wait a little bit longer. I'm just going to fix the scoreline as well so that you guys are no longer complaining about that, so it's gonna be very, very fun coming into game number 3 then. I'm particularly curious about what exactly I Love RNG does, pretty much knowing what the composition of choice for Misukun is going to be, because you just have to believe that that's just gonna be that very powerful DOT comp. Quite remarkably similar to Mangle comp as well, so it is indeed going to be this very close matchup, I feel, and I'm just very... That's just the real question mark right now. What does I Love RNG pick? Does he decide to stick with the Leper comp he just lost with? Or does he go with this secondary stress composition that definitely has... I feel is in a small disadvantage because it just has way less DOTs available to it. So that's just the big question mark right now. What exactly does I Love RNG do, and whether perhaps Misukun doesn't mind game him and go for the family comp, which is obviously quite wonky, right? That's the big deal here. Pyromaniac, by the way, if you guys have missed any games, I will be posting every single match separately on my YouTube channel. So if you guys are not subscribed to my YouTube, you're watching from Twitch right now, there is a button taking you to my YouTube channel from there, right below the stream on YouTube. So you can just go there, have a look at that as well. So subscribe to me on YouTube, then you'll get access to every single game of the tournament. And obviously, yeah, you'll do me a huge favor as well, because I'm trying to grow both YouTube and Twitch at the same time, people. So I hope you guys are enjoying yourselves. Those games have been delivering. I think this is the best of the best people in the Butchers League. We're going into game number 3, the deciding match between Misukun and I Love RNG right now. Such an exciting close matchup it has been. Let's just see what carnage those guys bring to the table in the final game, deciding which of them advances to the second phase of the qualifiers and which of them is just entirely and absolutely out of the tournament. Let's go! Misukun goes with a meme comp. Are you kidding me? I didn't see this coming. Did any of you see this coming? We actually see the meme composition from Misukun coming into play right now. And that's something that's just unprecedented, you have to feel. That's such an odd choice considering what is on the line for both of those players. We have the pushback here from the Abomination of I Love RNG, and this puts the Hellion in a very unfavorable position, right? Obviously there is no pull available. I feel like you have to question the invisibility, the Stygian Embrace that Misukun has dropped on the very first. He could have easily just prevented that Hellion from being pushed. Obviously this bomb stress coming from the PD might indeed do some harm to I Love RNG. However, you really have to consider the fact that Misukun had a perfectly viable composition coming into this game. He chose this one. He probably knows what he's doing, then you have to believe he knows what he's doing. We see Bello coming through, so there's just kind of standard stress play from both those players. Both comes very, very slow. So we see the Bello as well, dropped by Misukun, and I feel he has to just be praying for those crits right now. But this, you know, this abomination of I Love RNG is going to constantly apply threat to Misukun. I'm not sure if I agree with the choice of Misukun in terms of the composition here. He could have done something else. Obviously, crit comes through, so that's a bit of stress. Just 13 though across the board, that's not much. I don't understand. I don't really understand this choice by Misukun, honestly. I don't really understand the choice at all. We see the Zeus accusation come down as well. I Love RNG is just doing a lot of damage and stress at the same time. I'm not really sure if Misukun is gonna be able to actually match that. So that's obviously a lot of backline pressure, however, and we might see a follow-up of the Abyssal Artillery from this Occultist of Misukun to further emphasize that stress on the backline. However, this Hellion, round 2, against a heavily stress-based composition, drops to 0 HP. And this is a big threat for Misukun, honestly. By the way, he doesn't have the classic horror skills that usually an Occultist on stress composition carries. Instead, he chooses the Curse and 2 supportive skills and the Dagger. I'm not really sure whether the Sacrificial Stab is indeed the correct choice here. We shall see, however. We see another Bellow, so this might resolve break both the MAA and the Grave Robber here for I Love RNG. And this is very unfortunate, obviously. For I Love RNG here, he has 2 resolved broken characters. He might have to face the consequences right now. Those act-outs might indeed do something better. I don't exactly understand what those mean because I don't speak Spanish that well. So if someone on the chat could translate those afflictions, would be very much appreciated. Right now, however, we see Retribution, and this is evaded by Misukun. I kind of said this in French, I think, or in no human language at all, most likely. But this Hellion is going to potentially do a lot of stress and accuracy debuffs on the front line. This is gonna be followed up by a risk, however, because you might just lose this character if, you know, a single Devlo comes through. So thank you. So we got a message from Hovian, who says MAA is irrational and Hellion is selfish right now. So those are quite decent debuffs indeed. So this means that both those characters can potentially pass their turns and go down. This is not going to be a killing blow, by the way, so this Hellion safe and sound in position 2, probably going to be able to carry on God's work for a turn or 2 longer. However, you have to consider the amount of stress she's under. She might just die very soon though. So this healing has to be huge. Crit for 10, perhaps not the best of the best, but that gets the job done anyway. You also have to note the dodge trinket on this Occultist. He has quite decent portion of dodge here available to himself, so that's just kind of significant deal. Obviously, this debuff from Bello does come into play right now, and this Crusader is no longer doing significant damage, so this Hellion might stay alive for a little bit longer, obviously. Although, you do get a single dart right now on this Hellion, and she might just die. I feel like a single, panic darts come down. This is evaded again, that's crazy. Those debuffs from PD coming up huge. Does I Love RNG falter in this point, at this point into the battle? Does he lose a PD in the most important match of this tournament for him right now? Does he drop? This is minus 60 accuracy across the board, minus 20 as well on I Love RNG. I wish Sis was here because he was playing this exact composition before. Another dodge from the Hellion, come on, how much can you dodge with this character? That's absolutely mad. Like, does Misukun, I feel like Misukun has a deciding lead in this game. Look at this, minus 20 accuracy here, minus 30 accuracy on the Crusader, minus 30 here on this Abomination. This looks like Misukun's game to lose. There's so much stress. Obviously, this might be a dead Hellion right now. Another evade. Look at this, there is so little accuracy available. Another shout, look at this. 4 characters almost resolved broken for I Love RNG. Like, this is falling apart. All those misses, all those evasions, all those dodges, so huge. This is exactly what happens. That's what Zoko is saying. If you do leave the PD unchecked, that's what happens. That's what she does. She just wrecks you. She just demolishes you. And this is what Misukun is going for right now. Another bunch of stress coming through. Look at this. 180 on the MAA and on this Grave Robber. I Love RNG You hate to see it if you're him. Another act out as well here from the Grave Rob. Obviously could have been worse, could have been a pass, right? Still, that's so remarkably huge. By the way, this Hellion potentially might stay alive. I'm not gonna jinx it, but you know, if you do heal this with the Occultist and you fail to deliver enough damage, maybe, just maybe, she ekes out another 10. It's crazy. The PD. Sis, why aren't you here? That PD might just take the first game. However, you have the Virtue from the Crusader of Isle of RNG. This is so important for him. Super unfortunate, almost heartbreaking for Misukun. He has everything going in this game for him. And now he maybe loses this to this Virtue. Powerful comes through indeed. Thank you, Life's a Lich, for translating for me. And this might indeed mean that Isle of RNG will eke out a small lead from himself. However, you have to consider the fact that this Grave Robber, in a very dire situation, there is nothing preventing PD from hitting the back row once again, or preventing the Occultist actually from doing a lot of stress damage to this Grave Robber, potentially taking him down from the get-go. This is another double dodge, by the way. The Hellion may be dead, but the debuffs remain on the battlefield, and this means that this Hellion is absolutely going to be magnificent right now. Even from behind the Death's Door, she's still going to deliver a lot of disruption on Isle of RNG. The meme cup of Misukun dominating this game, absolutely taking over those accuracy debuffs, those misses. Isle of RNG resolve broken on 2. This MAA, no, not gonna be long for this world, you have to feel. Oh, however, this stun comes through, so this Occult is not going to be able to finish the job yet. This Crusader might be healing here, I'm not really sure about this. We have another bunch of stress coming out, however, from Misukun. This is enough! The MA goes down. This is just a Crusader and an Abomination against a full squad of Misukun. However, you have to obviously consider the fact this Crusader does have the Virtue going on, so he might be quite difficult to take down. You know, you have the bonus stress resistance from that, you get the bonus damage as well. This might just do this for Isle of RNG. I really don't know about this though. Those accusations coming out to say 10 damage crit as well, very big damage for Misukun, and really he doesn't have that much to resist this now. So he tries to shuffle this Abomination, maybe to rank 4 if he's lucky. No, he clears the corpse, so this doesn't do this. Obviously a lot of stress again. We don't see any significant act-outs, by the way, on Isle of RNG's squad. So this Able might do something nasty. It does not, however. There is no activation here. This is a dead MAA potentially right now. Look at this. Is this going to be a stun as well? Is this going to be... That's a stun toad. That's so unlike this. Like about 20... wait. Well... 50%, a 50-50 indeed, right, to get that done. However, a crit comes through as well on this Abomination. There's going to be a resolve broken Avon right now. The MAA, however, probably dies now. Maybe this accusation has to finish him, but still, it's a dead MAA. It's going to be so close, such a close match right now. Can Misukun do this, or can RNG actually pull through? You can't help but root for Misukun though. Like, he has brought this super meme composition to the table right now. He goes for a stun on the Occultist, and it doesn't come through. This is evaded. The dodge comes out huge again. He finished. He might just save the MAA though. Does he do this? Does he save the MAA, or does he go for this heal? It's gonna be 2v1 for this Crusader then, and this is indeed the decision of Misukun. He ditches the MAA. He takes down the Abomination, and this is just one man, the last man standing for Isle of RNG. This is what divides them. This is what divides our big man Misukun from the qualifier round 2. What a crazy turnaround here. Absolutely insane. We can see this PD again dropping some stress. This is gonna be enough very soon. Look at this focused stress damage that Misukun can pull off actually. I feel he has just gonna get this. He's just gonna get this. Look at that. Misukun is gonna be able to take this Crusader down probably next turn. This stun comes through, however, so it's not gonna be just yet. However, this PD probably going to do enough stress here to just murder this Crusader right now. Incision comes through. Oh, he has no more access to stress skills. So this is kind of unfortunate, obviously. This corpse goes down. That prevents this PD from landing all those skills. This Crusader can probably chain stun this Occultist. No, he decides not to. And there's gonna be Death's Door right now for the Crusader for sure. Look at this. There's gonna be the death zone dropping on the probably. I feel this is gonna be indeed that happening for him. So there's gonna be this bunch of stress coming down again. This Crusader is so freaking fortunate that he didn't get resolve broken yet. That's so lucky. You can't understate how big this is. You can actually, that's a big mistake. From Misukun, he could have moved, like he could have just easily guaranteed the win here. If he had moved the Occultist around with his, you can switch the PD and the Occultist around. And this means that the Occultist is safe in rank 3 and can just spam that ability instead of being consistently stunned by the Crusader. It's so unfortunate he didn't do this, because this was definitely a win then. Oh my, this is so Misukun might have just thrown this lead that he has created for himself. He has been taking over this game consistently. He might just not be able to close it though. Look at this. This is Zell's accusation evaded by the... Oh, okay, you hate to see it if you're RNG. If you are, I love RNG. He probably doesn't love RNG right now. Another evasion comes through. There's gonna be a Death Stone, the Crusader. That's probably going to be the decisive... Sorry, there's gonna be the decisive win from Misukun right now. You have to imagine that just there's no way in hell, unless he gets crazy, insane RNG. This might be a kill right now, it's not. 70% death blow resistance though. This is a Crusader who is just begging to be eaten alive right now. A single stress ability from this Occultist is just gonna do it. The stun comes through, however, this Occultist still stays alive though. Does Misukun just decide to sack this Occultist right now and go for a stab or no? Because this Crusader can easily stun lock anybody. He goes for a stab actually. That's kind of desperate, you have to feel for Misukun. Okay, this Occultist though, still 75% death blow resistance. This Crusader has the Root of Execution, 35% death blow chance right now on this guy. Does he get this or no? He goes for his Zealous Accusation, gets a death blow as well. This is just Mizukun's PD alive right now. This might be a stun lock into a kill quite easily. That's a death blow! Misukun advances to qualifier round 2. I love RNG is eliminated, guys. We have the winner of the qualifier number 2, and we know that all the matchups to the second part of this tournament. We have Bagheera versus Misukun and Shepherd versus Spartan.
Oh my god, yes. A lot of wrongs, but I win. Oh my god. Very good. Oh my gosh. I got to hit a hair attack in this moment.